Europe is heating up once again. More than 25,000 elite US and NATO paratroopers have suddenly been deployed to Italy, one of the largest military moves in recent years. Russia immediately put its forces on high alert. Could this be the signal of a looming direct confrontation? The United States, in close coordination with NATO allies, has just carried out one of the largest troop deployments in Europe in decades. Around 25,000 paratroopers, mainly from the 173rd Airborne Brigade, were airlifted and stationed at bases in Italy. For NATO, Italy has long been a vital strategic stronghold in southern Europe, controlling critical Mediterranean routes and serving as a gateway to Eastern Europe. The U.S. choice of Italy as the staging ground is not only symbolic, but also highlights southern Europe's vital role in NATO's overall strategy to deter Russia. An estimated 25,000 paratroopers reportedly come from multiple U.S. and NATO units, including the 173rd Airborne Brigade based in Vicenza, Italy. Moving such a massive force requires hundreds of airlift missions or a combination of air and sea transport. This is not just a military deployment, it is also a demonstration of Washington's global logistical capabilities. The 173rd Airborne Brigade, also known as the Sky Soldiers, stands as the strategic spearhead of the U.S. Army in Europe. Stationed in Vicenza, Italy, and Grafenwöhr, Germany, it is the only forward-deployed airborne unit in the region. With around 3,300 elite paratroopers, the 173rd can deploy to any hotspot within less than 18 hours. The brigade has historically served as America's airborne strike force in Europe, capable of conducting parachute assaults, seizing key terrain, and providing a flexible military presence in volatile regions. Over the years, the brigade has operated in Kosovo, Iraq, and Afghanistan, earning a reputation for speed, precision, and combat readiness. Today, the 173rd is not only a fighting force, but also a symbol of US-NATO deterrence and rapid response in Europe. As General Christopher Cavoli, commander of US European Command, once emphasized, the 173rd Airborne Brigade is America's forward presence in Europe, ready to deploy at a moment's notice. That is why, in the context of the US and NATO deploying 25,000 paratroopers to Italy, the 173rd stands at the core, serving both as the forward command and as the unit most familiar with Europe's battlefields. This sends a powerful message. Washington is prepared to act from the very heart of southern Europe.
1 minute. 1 minute. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Stand by.
Western officials have stressed that the sheer scale of the deployment highlights Washington's intent to reassure allies, while at the same time sending a direct warning to Moscow that the alliance stands united and prepared to act. Meanwhile, the NATO Secretary General emphasized that this is a collective effort to strengthen the alliance's interoperability and readiness. Italian authorities confirmed that hosting Allied troops is fully consistent with NATO agreements, while underlining Italy's role as a strategic hub for the alliance. Immediately after the announcement, Russia placed its military on high alert. A Kremlin spokesperson declared, "This is a direct provocation, and we will take proportional measures." The Russian Ministry of Defense also reinforced S-400 systems in Kaliningrad, deployed additional nuclear submarines in the Black Sea, and expanded exercises in Syria, home to Russia's Tartus base. This signals that Moscow is prepared to respond on multiple fronts. In response, NATO has opted for a visible and unmistakable display of force. The arrival of tens of house sands of elite paratroopers on Italian soil is designed to reassure allies from the Baltic states to the Balkans, while simultaneously making clear to Moscow that NATO possesses both the will and the means to respond to provocations. For NATO, this move has two critical meanings. First, it proves the alliance's ability to deploy large-scale forces rapidly, a key element of deterrence in any crisis. Second, it reinforces internal unity, reassuring Southern European members that they are not left behind. The NATO Secretary General once emphasized, every inch of NATO territory will be defended. Choosing Italy shows that this promise applies not only in Eastern Europe, but across the entire alliance. But such a massive deployment also carries risks. Even a minor incident, an unintended air encounter over the Black Sea or Mediterranean, could trigger a full-blown crisis. Experts warn that we are entering the most dangerous phase since the Cold War. One possible scenario is that NATO keeps a permanent deterrence force in Italy. A worse scenario, Russia counters by expanding military cooperation with China or Iran, creating a new front against the West. 25,000 paratroopers in Italy are not just part of an exercise. They are a strategic message to Russia and to the world. NATO is ready to act swiftly and decisively, but the real question is, will this move prevent conflict or only bring the risk of direct confrontation closer? The coming weeks will test the resolve of both sides.